I am absolutely here for you. When you hire me, I don't tell you the number of hours. I don't make PowerPoint presentations for you, right? I will train you through like doing a strategic plan, but you're going to have to write the strategic plan. Like, I am here for you in it with my focus, attention, my support.
It is a tough time. Me and my organization, we had our revenue kind of rewinded 4 or 5 years back, and it's still more than when I started 10 years ago, but it is tough when me as the founder and CEO, I see my bottom line and I think, hey, all that hard work just wiped out 4 to 5 years. But I'm wondering, like, how is this time treating you? What are you doing to get out of it and just improve everything?
So we have been lucky in the U.S. Some people say we're lucky, some people say we're not, but we did. There were a lot of resources directed towards small businesses, and so that's been helpful for my clients as well as even for myself, right? And that I definitely had. I would say when they shut things down, there was a period of time in that March and April when business development, like I wasn't closing any clients. And also with my existing clients, a lot of them are on I do a monthly program with people. I do a 6-month program up front. And then we often do monthly work. And a couple of them really, business went to zero. And they came to me and they were like, I'll take a pause. I can't keep going forward. And I went back and I was like, no. That you are going to be infinitely more likely to be paying me full price in 6 months if we keep working together. So I did work with people on price, and I started going out into the community and really being more upfront about doing, what I call them demo sessions. I was like, look, if you bring me small problems, we'll work on it. Let me give you some tools. So going out into people that I knew and kind of offering them that, because I knew that would just be enough to kind of get them up, get them moving and taking action. I do think that attitude that you're expressing, which is that feeling, which is very intense, that, oh my God, I've rolled back to where I was. And so life is like, you have to imagine it's sort of, I don't know if you're into like the integral, right? There's the area under the curve, right? So you still not just accumulated all of that money that you then spent on things and whatever, and then have the life that you want, but you also really accumulated all of that knowledge, all of those contacts, all of that experience. So you are not back where you were 4 years ago, right? Your business has evolved quite a bit, and you have evolved as a leader and as a business owner. I
hope so.
am saying, yeah, no, you are.
Kidding. Yeah,
you are. But what I am seeing is that for some people, it's, hey, this business isn't really what I wanted to do. So I started to get more clients actually after the first drop. People started coming in because they're like, I'm realizing now that the reason my business is suffering so much now is actually that I didn't plan for X, or I didn't know Y, or my clients are not very good, right? Like I said, my clients, like we could negotiate and they're still paying me. Now they're paying me less, some of those clients. My new clients are generally paying me full price, but like I did have some negotiation, but they didn't leave me. They didn't fire me, right? So we were able to work with that. And so I've seen that with the clients I've worked with for a longer time, is often they were able to use this time to reset relationships, go out. If you're really looking at your business, hey, let's say, for example, you were a retail business and you had no e-commerce presence. I mean, you have had like 20 years of Amazon, right, coming at you. So you've been in denial about the fact that you're like, but you've got to go back to, I'm not saying your retail business can't survive, but what is the value? Okay, why do I come to your store? Usually it's because I like you as the shop owner and you're friendly and you help me, whatever, and so if that's what it is, then you need to start selling that, maybe virtually, but you can still keep me as a client or a customer if you know what you're providing me. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on where people will be able to push through to the other side once they really understand what it is, the value they provide. So I'm happy to talk offline about, because I know you bunch of businesses and lots of stuff going on. And I'd be happy to talk offline about that and kind of how, but you're definitely not back 4 years as much as it feels like that.
I think we should get back on another episode someday, and just let's keep in touch after this one.
Yeah, we can dissect your business. I'm happy to do it. People don't always know what happens in coaching. I mean, I'm always happy to be like, hey, I'll get on and you can bring me a little problem and we can do a coaching session and your listeners can see, oh, wow. Usually it's like, oh, that's different than I thought it would be. So
that'd be awesome. And we can help with the website that you have. A beautiful website, by the way.
Squarespace.
I could send you an
I
audit.
hate to say that to you. Squarespace. But we should talk, because for me, like the functionality has capped out. So that's something that I think is often the case with service providers is you go, oh, I'm a commodity. You start to realize that a certain portion of your customers were treating you as a commodity. And guess what? They should have been on Squarespace. It's cheaper for them. What you want to do is find out who are the customers out there, because there's plenty of them, who really are going to value what it is that you do. That's not commodity. That's the special services, the kind of secret sauce that you have. Those people will be happy to pay because they can't use the Squarespace isn't their alternative.
Yeah. See, I'm getting consulting right here. So now when we talked about like the people, the business owners that you were in touch with, and you told them, hey, you know what, if we stop what it is we're doing with the consulting I'm giving you, you're not going to be able to pay me a full amount in X number of months. And you were able to convince them. So a lot of people are in that same boat right now, and they are not having the same amount of success that you've had in speaking to these business owners. What is it that you did that you think was able to bring you through into agreement with them and made them say, you know what, you're right, Keziah, I should work with you, and that is really how I'm going to be able to get to that point where I'm going to be paying you full?
Well, that's the coaching part, because I don't have the solution. I don't know. I mean, for some people, I had a client who's a great client, but she's like, she was running, her core business was restaurant events, like events at restaurants. And zero. Business went to zero. She had some other businesses.
Sure.
She's very entrepreneurial. So she launched some other businesses, and but some of that like conversation is just around, I don't know what you should do, but you, much to your point with the business, the name of your LLC, the name of your business could possibly not exist on the other side of this, but you as a business person will exist. Like you as the entrepreneur, all that value that you've created, the accumulation, that is still there. And and again, the infinite potential beyond that. So for a lot of people, I was like, I would love to have you as a client if, you hit my screening criteria, but I'm not on that call to close you, like in those times. And I'm usually, my own coach would say, you need to be better at closing, because I'm not on the calls to close. Like I'm so passionate about it. I'm on the call to like really look with that owner and say, you have infinite potential and you don't have to believe in yourself right now. You just have to believe that I believe in you. And I will hold that. So sometimes I'm like, I will hold that belief in your potential, that vision that you have for yourself. You're going to be somebody. You're not sure how you're going to get there. You're going to run an empire. You're not sure how to get. I will hold that for you on the days when you cannot hold it for yourself.
Wow.
So, and that's how you,
that's huge.
That's the sales pitch, but I believe it, right? I'm like, I really believe that. I won't work with you because I have a screening process. Screen in. I'm not talking to people who I can't say that with confidence to.
Got it. Because that's like a huge burden. And I would say burden, right? Because like there can be people who would like be in despair, especially during this time that, I really can't do it. And, like they're going to be leaning on your shoulder, and you have to be the one like telling them that you believe in them. And like, right. Oh man, that's just heavy. Yeah.
It is and it isn't. A lot of it is about, for me, I work with people who like know that they can level up. I would say like the baseball expression is small ball, right? When you're kind of playing, you're hitting for singles and doubles. And really that I work with people who know at some level that they were meant to make a bigger difference. They were meant to be somebody. They have a cause they're super passionate about. They really want to see something change in the world. They want product. There is something in there where if they're here, they see their potential here, right? And I know the potential is here. The people who I struggle with, and that's why I stopped doing so many turnarounds. I still do pivots and some types of turnarounds, but often you get people in scarcity mindset and they're just trying to be, 5% better, or they're just trying to get back to where they were 2 years ago. And, I can't work with this because not just because of the money that it's going to cost you, but that emotional effort. You think about that idea of going in and being like, ooh, I've been really doing a bad job hiring people and I need to really think about this. And I need to come to terms with that. I'm really going to have to make a change and it's going to be uncomfortable and all this stuff. If you want to be 5% better, that's too much work. I wouldn't do that work. If you want to be 50% better, and I know you can be 500% better, then you're going to do the work. And then I can bring all of myself into it and really and I do you have to leave things in the room sometimes. I'm like, I am absolutely here for you. When you hire me, I don't tell you the number of hours. I don't make PowerPoint presentations for you, right? I will train you through doing a strategic plan, but you're going to have to write the strategic plan. I am here for you in it with my focus, attention, my support, and all of the experience, my accumulated experience, the accumulated experience of all the people I can bring in to help you. But that's what I guarantee. And I need commitment from the client that they're really going to bring everything they can, knowing that some days it's not going to be, I'm going to have to hold some of that for them.
Awesome. That's amazing. And now Keziah, I know you have an 8 a.m. and it's around 7:48 p.m. here. So I'm assuming that's 12-hour difference. And so I'm going to be jumping on to the last thing. So I've learned tons of stuff from Keziah this day. And I just want to know, how can people get in touch with you? And you mentioned that you have an upcoming course, which sounds amazing if you are a small to medium business owner, or even if you're already a couple of years in doing consulting, you're a self-employed person, you might want to get into that course that Keziah is preparing. Is it out? Is there a link that people can get into?
No, I'm still pulling it together. But if you look for me on LinkedIn, the best place to find me is LinkedIn. I also have a website, www.cassia-partners.com. That's CASSIA. If you look for Keziah Robinson on LinkedIn or Cassia Partners, generally you're going to find me pretty quickly. So I have a Facebook page as well for my business. So I will be, I do tend to put that kind of thing will be on Facebook, and there'll be some LinkedIn events. It'll be launching, I think, my first round which will be focused on kind of those independent professionals, should be starting at the end of the summer. And I'm targeting an 8-week course. And it will be actually more of a mastermind combination with group coaching. So there'll be some coursework you do by yourself, but at least every week there will be a small group, 8 to 10 people with me, and we'll get in and we'll really do the heavy lifting there. So that's going to be something that I'm rolling out. And then I will be doing a version on hiring. That will be one targeted for business owners who are looking at how do I work with my employees and how do I bring in great employees and how do I create value for them and they create value for me, and how then do I choose how to do things like price and offer benefits, offer salary and benefits. So there's a lot of it's I love the woo-woo, but then ultimately it's a business. So we got to talk about how you price, what your contracts look like, and I will bring other resources in to give advice on those sorts of things.
That's awesome. So just for the Spotify listeners who are not seeing the video or the text of this, the show notes, her name is spelled as Keziah. I'm going to repeat that. That's Keziah, which is a very unique spelling. So I don't imagine that you're going to be having a hard time looking for Keziah on LinkedIn. So that's Keziah Robinson. Robinson is spelled Robinson. You can search for her on LinkedIn and wait for it. She's going to be releasing her can I say it's a masterclass course? It sounds like it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm
awesome.
I need suggestions because me and titles don't get along that well. I actually have a client who just came in more for some spot coaching, somebody who was through my network, and he's like, I'm really good at writing titles for things because he's a writer. And all of a sudden just came to me. I'm like, I better call him up and ask him what he thinks I should call this course.
Yeah. Well, you got an idea from another writer. So I started my
Yeah,
business as a writer as well.
great.
For me, if you're going to be there weekly, just meeting these people, it could be a
Yeah.
masterclass course or mastermind course. Whatever it is, I'm sure that the value that people will get out of it is huge, because I've gotten a ton of value from this free stuff that I have with you right now. And if people are going to be paying for it, it must be magic. So Kezia, thank you so much for joining me here in the podcast. It has been a fantastic time for me. And I
Thank you,
hope that,
Sean. I'm so glad you did. You know, this is like to the God point, like getting out and really sharing and really trying to help other people. And I know a ton of work goes into podcasts, and that really is, you know, that's part of God's work. So, or work for the universe, or work for humanity, whatever everyone prefers to use. But just to kind of give you celebrate that with you.
thank you.